This is a SOAYAN Mini PC, N150. So N150's your kind of very basic chip from Intel. I can only see it AliExpress at the minute. We're looking at about a sort of sub $200. I've got the 256 and I've got the 12 gigabyte, which isn't an option on Ali. So you're looking at about $150-ish, this kind of range here. This is the type of PC that if you just need something that's got one purpose, you want something just to be, doing one job sort of routinely. It's not going to be a performance beast. It's not going to be able to be a 4K video editing machine or anything like that, but it is going to be able to do a job on Windows. When you see that, what do you all think? It's unnecessary, but it's very nice. Warm welcome and hello, thank you. Warm welcome into my life, SOAYAN. Very nicely packaged. I can just fish it out. Oh, okay. The whole thing came out. Yeah, it's very neat, isn't it? Very small. What else do we get? HDMI cable and a power adapter and some VSA mount screws and another mounting bracket there as well. Because you've got, it's too small to be a VSA, so you have to mount this to that and then that to the VSA. So cool, you can mount it. And this has a barrel adapter. That'll be a 12-volt job, I imagine. Come back to that later. The one thing I was interested in is you actually get two USB-Cs. You've got two HDMIs and a display port. And you've got two LANs as well. There's the power there. I wonder if one of those can actually be power in as well. And I wonder if the other one can be display port out. Because that would be ideal. If you're making a mini PC these days, then what we want to see is we want to see that the mini PC can be powered by just about any 100 watt like power supply. No luck there so far. If it can be powered, no, I don't think so. So I think you're going to have to power this guy. It's just not kicking on at all. Because that can do 100 watts out, that one. So you want something that can be powered by power delivery, even at a lower standard than 100 watt. And you want the other, and a second USB-C, that's definitely 100 watt. So no, I don't think you're going to be able to get any power through there. Which means that you're therefore always using the DC in, which is, that's not a terrible thing. They obviously supply you with that power adapter, but it would be nice if you could just sort of mount this anywhere with just about any charger, as most chargers now are going to be power delivery, and it's all they need. And if you can do it with a laptop, with an N150, you can do it with a mini PC, with an N150 as well. Any other interesting bits here? Any questions about this? Yeah, what do you think when is it the color hello? You think Apple, of course you do, mate, yeah. You can do it your own way. There's lots of things I'd rather have seen than a blatant imitation of Apple. But there we are. This is an inexpensive mini PC and I'll put it through its paces and I will let you know in a follow-up if it's any good. It is, by the way, broadly the same size as the GMK Tech. There's the G2, which is this is an N100, but they have this sort of form factor in N150 as well. You can see here, I think you can power this one with the USB-C. Yeah, so this is powered by this USB-C, the GMK Tech, but it doesn't then have a separate one for display. And I think that, I'll compare these in a bit of detail. Very similar, otherwise both 12 gigabytes. This one's got slightly more storage than the SOAYAN, and I'll do that in detail and let you know which I would recommend out of these two. And there are lots of other N150s out there to have a look at as well. Are some of these minis going to end up being as powerful as some of the towers were? Yeah, well, they already are as powerful as they were, that's for sure. I've done a fair bit of comparison between my previous tower, the new one, and some of the mini PCs and the sort of tiny laptop that I use. I've got a video coming soon where I've sort of reused my old parts from my sort of 6-year-old computer, but added a slightly better GPU. And I think that the results are going to be quite surprising actually, because just a little bit of an improvement on one part, which I didn't even think was the bottleneck, to be honest, I think has really transformed that. And now it's more powerful than some of the minis that were sort of doing really well. Anyway, so it's an interesting point, absolutely, miniaturization in terms of how much power we can get there. So I've spent a bit of time playing about with the SOAYAN N5 N150 Mini. It's, as you'd expect an N150 Mini to be, really. It's certainly when you work from a high-powered PC to this, you see that performance change, you really do. You only got 4 cores there, and certainly you're going to be seeing this quite a lot, which is the all 4 cores running at 100%, because just doing its Windows updates, that's what I saw for basically about an hour or more. I also had a little bit of an issue with just getting it to boot up at first, and I think that must simply be because I had a faulty power supply shipped with it, because I used one from a different mini PC and it works just fine. But then the next day it just took a while to sort of boot up for some reason. I don't know what was going on there, but the switch was just totally inactive. So since then it's been reliable and fine. So maybe there was an issue with those first boots, but it's gone away now. Now the other thing that's worrying is that the temperatures of the cores really did soar quite high. Running a hardware monitor, you can see the individual cores and they're often labeled as red, i.e. that they're too hot. And I think that's because we've got a mini PC here inside a plastic box. Yes, it does have a fan, but I don't know, maybe you can turn that up somewhere in the BIOS. But when it was running the benchmarks and when you could see it running at 100% of the CPU, it was really getting quite hot. A mini PC in a plastic case, that's going to happen, but GMK Tech don't have that same issue, and I think that's why you'll see some of the differences with the scores in just a moment. And this is same size, still in a plastic box, but you've got an opening at the bottom and an opening at the top, and you've got the fan as well. So I just think maybe this is a slightly better thermal design. Looking at the system specs, I mean, we've got 12 gigabytes of RAM, sure. We've got 128 megabytes of VRAM there, so that's like a tiny amount, an impressively small amount. And yes, I did run this with 2 monitors coming from the mini PC, and yes, it worked. One of them 1080p, one of them 1440p. I'm sure you can run high resolution 4K out of it as well, just as it says, but I don't think you're going to want to run that for long like that. So I of course did my regular set of Geekbenches. I'll probably run that and do a little bit of a comparison video with the GMK Tech G2, because I think that's worth doing with a bit more of a detailed set of comparisons there. But let's have a look. The single core, actually it was the highest performing of all of the N150s and N100s that I've tried. Not by much though, only a little bit higher than the Chewy and the GMK Tech G2. I think that honestly they're about the same in single core. In multi-core though, this did surprise me. It's considerably behind the Chewy and the GMK Tech, just 2,400. Sure, higher than the Melee Quieter 4C, which is a fanless mini PC, and I think that's the reason for the issue. I think in the multi-core, we're seeing it get to such high temperatures that it's thermal throttling, and that means that it's significantly below the GMK Tech and the Chewy. So I just don't think there is enough cooling in this little box here. I mean, having unscrewed it, it's a really simple design that probably keeps the cost down at no end. The actual motherboard is held in place by the 4 screws that are holding this bottom plate here, and it kind of looks like there should be some fan intake maybe here at the bottom, but there isn't. And there should probably be a lot more exhaust here at the top. I think that that would be an improvement to the thermal design. Just let a little bit more airflow into that hot little box there. And then the iGPU, in line with the Quieter, which is the N150 as well, a little bit ahead of the N100, and that's what you'd expect really. The N100 is really the same sort of processing power, but not quite as good a GPU. Not far behind actually, but the Chewy Hi10 Max actually massively overperformed there, I think because that's got a little bit more actual RAM to cool on as sort of shared system and VRAM, that it can actually outperform all of those N150s and N100s in terms of its graphics. I also ran Crystal Disk Mark, and that was not impressive at all, but about what you'd expect. A little bit below maybe from SATA Speed M2 drives, not great really. And then just for fun, I ran the Geekbench AI score, which as you would expect is pretty low, 650 basically on the single precision. I ran it on the iGPU as well, which was better, 1070 on the single precision. And it's in the top 98% of all benchmarks on Blender, meaning 98% of computers are better for 3D rendering. It's got a benchmark score, an impressively low 24.79, which is Yeah, I've never seen anything that low before. And I did the times by score as well, which was a very juddery experience. You can imagine watching it load up those frames, 372. So really not going to be a gaming machine, really not going to be an AI inference or a 3D machine, but for what it is, a little office computer, something to mount on the back of a monitor, an inexpensive first PC for a young person perhaps, to do their homework on, to surf the internet. But don't even expect, even just running several Chrome tabs, it's pretty slow, to be honest, especially when you get into Web 2.0 type stuff like Drive or the Google Sheets and things. It's going to be a pretty slow experience, but it's there, it's possible, and it's a little over £100, so impressive for that price point.